welcome to Imola Auto between myself and Mo, of course. A couple of weeks ago, we did a comparison or a quick piece on the 2020 BMW 7 Series as opposed to the equivalent Audi A8. I just wanted to actually finish that off by presenting to you just some quick information about the S-Class. It's not going to be too long, but just some key features about what's actually happened since the S-Class was recently facelifted. We'll talk a little bit about the design, the engine that's gone into the S560, and a little bit about the interior as well, and we should be able to wrap it up just there. Just to, like I say, give you a good idea about what's happened to keep things in tune and as competitive as possible. Of course, S-Class Mercedes is at the forefront of luxury, or has been in this particular segment or category of vehicle, and let's just see why it still remains the benchmark effectively. So follow me, let's have a look. So one of the new designs, of course, was the redesigned headlamp system using Mercedes LED multi-beam technology. You can see that for the S-Class, it has three sort of war stripes, as opposed to the C and the E-Class. The C will just have the 1, and the E will have the 2, and that's how you can differentiate between the three classes of vehicles, so to say. Of course, you now get the big radiator grille as standard. On the old vehicles, it belonged only to the V12, I believe, but now it's available on pretty much the entire range. This is the S-Line AMG version of the S560, so this will have a little bit more detail in terms of sportiness, plus the AMG wheels, the side sills, and towards the rear of the vehicle, the same sort of is in keeping with that particular sportiness of design. Coming around here, you can see these blades, and that's of course been redesigned as well, almost like a front splitter. And that pretty much sums it up. But before we go to the engine, I wanted to talk a little bit about the technology behind these. This can actually illuminate up to 650 meters ahead, which is super bright. It's almost near enough illegal, but this is what the Mercedes S-Class can actually do in terms of, like I say, illumination, especially on a dark road, which is a really, really nice feature. Let's move on to the engine, and I'll show you what's underneath there. Okay, so underneath all of that plastic and covers is a brand new V8. It's a 4-litre bi-turbo. It's generating just under 470 brake horsepower. I think it's about 463, something along those lines. The twin turbo unit, of course, means that it has the turbos inside the V of the cylinder banks, which makes it a lot more efficient. It's more economical, and in terms of response times, there's hardly any lag at all. It's derived from Formula 1 technology, and it is good for 5 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers, which is some serious performance considering the vehicle is very much a luxury limousine. It can still set your pants on fire when you want it to. Okay, so inside S560, there's not that much that has actually changed, but the few things that I want to highlight is in fact the redesigned steering wheel. Now this of course is new for the facelift model, and you can see that there's a lot of controls that have moved on to the multifunctional side of the steering wheel. You've got two little touch pads on either side as well, which gives you access to the screen both in front of me and for the command system as well. And the cruise control has moved from a stalk which used to be underneath here, which you could mistake for an indicator, and now it's been placed onto the steering wheel itself, which makes things a bit more ergonomical. Inside Mercedes S-Class, you can see the finish is absolutely exquisite. It's really, really exciting. If you remember when we did the 7 Series and the Audi, that was very uniform, very ergonomic again. It was very sort of, you could say, like I said, everything was supposed to be where you would expect to find it. With the S-Class, it's a bit more theatre. It's a bit more individual. I mean, for example, the lighting settings for the ambient lighting system in the car, you can actually choose between 64 different color settings. 64, not 4, not 10. And there's actually a wellness program that goes along with that ambient lighting system to try and create this ambience for the driver or the passenger, or anybody that happens to be lucky enough to be in the S-Class at the time. This wellness program then sets things like the climate control to your liking, the massaging system for the driver and the passenger, comfort seating, whether it's heating or cooling, memory seating for both the driver and the passenger, and everything is integrated perfectly through the command system. A couple of things I want to show you. So of course, storage wise, you've got a glove box or a cubby with wireless charging. The cool thing about that is that it opens both sides. You've got space for your key, you've got your cup holders, you still have the command system in the form of a rotor, a touchpad, and of course the screens themselves have now been upgraded. They're crystal clear, they're very, very informative. You've got so much of stuff that you can actually change on here, and the driver information systems, or the information given to you directly in front of you, again, it's again, it just allows you to have a really, really big party with everything, and I like this. From the 3 cars that we've done, I prefer this in terms of just this feel-good factor, a feeling of luxury. The others are really comfortable, they have very similar features, they certainly do more or less the same sort of stuff, but the S-Class seems to do it with a lot more charisma, so to say. So let's have a look at the back. Okay, so we're in a long wheelbase version of the S560, and again, the fit and finish and the comfort levels are exquisite. Now, this is not the version with the luxury lounge package or the chauffeur's package, or sort of like a comfort access package, which gives you the ability to be able to move the front seat all the way forward, and then it becomes like a first-class cabin. So from this particular model, the fixed center console is missing, with the aircraft type tables. You could say the extension for the leg rest, that's also missing from here. But saying that, I still get the rear entertainment. I still have cooling and heating seats. I still have memory. And of course back here, the Burmester audio system works like an absolute dream. So it is still very, very comfortable. These, however, are not touch screens. They're still operational via a command system remote control, which should be here, and if it isn't, then it's probably tucked away somewhere in operations. But you do get wireless charging, some cup holders, a bit more storage, and you know, it's still, again, a really, really lovely way to travel. But you can really spruce things up in your S-Class if you go for a multiple amount of options, and you can make it, again, a really, really special place to be. Luckily for me, I prefer to drive, because actually it is quite a good drive, which we'll get to at some other point, I'm sure. So at the rear of the vehicle, just to finish up, you've got all the expected safety systems, from your rear view cameras to your 360 systems. You've got front and rear parking sensors. Mercedes-Benz S560 is equipped with collision avoidance control, emergency brake assistance, and it does actually think a lot for you along the way. In terms of boot space, it's pretty much around the same as the 7 Series and the Audi, roughly around 500 litres. The one thing I did actually want to mention was the suspension. Now, air suspension on the S560 is of course standard, but you can get the optional magic suspension, which then does actually make a memory of the road or the surface, and it can actually see the bumps coming to allow for the vehicle to, of course, lift itself and lower itself down thereafter. And then with that, you've got the torque curve control, which actually works like a motorcycle. So in order to keep things, you could say, as dynamic as possible, the Mercedes S560 has the ability to lean into corners to try and make things as stable as possible, to give you a lot of confidence. And of course, with really, really good steering, depending on the mode that you go for, it can, like I say again, be a fantastic driving experience, even from something as big or as powerful, as majestic as the S-Class Mercedes. Okay, so that pretty much brings me to the end of the short review of the S-Class Mercedes. One thing I wanted to mention was the satellite navigation system, which works really, really well, in the sense that it has the ability to talk to other Mercedes vehicles on the road. So you can actually get live traffic updates, any reported incidents. You can also just try and make your journey a bit more serene and a bit more easier in that sense, because you already know what's coming through that particular system. Anyway, that's pretty much done. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, let us know your views, what you think of the 3 cars, and especially this particular model that I have, well, right behind me. Details will be popping on the bottom of the screen right now. And like I say, as always, if you have anything cool that you'd like us to review, or if you have something that you'd like us to have a look at, feel free to let us know. And until the next time, take care. Bye.